Let's talk of graves, of worms and epitaphs. Make dust our paper, and with rainy eyes write sorrow on the bosom of the earth. Let's choose executors and talk of wills, and yet not so. For what can we bequeath, save our deposed bodies to the ground? Our land, our lives, and all our Bullingbrookes. And nothing can we call our own but death, and that pale model of the barren earth, which serves as paste and cover to our bones. For God's sake, let us sit upon the ground and tell sad stories and happy stories, chilling stories, ghost stories, and sometimes, if we're able, the occasional story of life.
You heard a creak in the night. You closed your eyes, shut your eyes and held your breath all night. Now all your grown curiosity leads you to the cries of the deceased. Talk to ghosts, speak to graves, instead of hiding neath your covers. Go to bed, lie awake, hear their whispers softly say, I am your history, I haunt your aching past, I fog your memory, feel me every day.
When I was in elementary school, I always told my mom about when my great-grandma would come to visit me. She had short, powdery white hair, a beautiful, warm smile, ruby red lips, but what I remember of her most was her signature jasmine perfume. If I try hard enough, I can see it in my mind still. Great-grandma there, smiling at me, asking me how my day was. If I really concentrate, I can smell a breeze of jasmine. My mom told me that I must have an imagination that was very active for my age. My great-grandma had died a few years before I was born. I must have seen a picture of her or encountered a photo album. That didn't explain the conversations, the smiles, the memories. My grandma Rose always told me about how there was a door to the other side. Children are born with their door fully wide open. As they grow up, that door begins to close. Sometimes, if you really try, you can pry it back open. But in order to do that, you have to find that door for yourself. Sometimes we find that door when we least expect it. A smell or a sound. And once we find that door, well. Curiosity sometimes gets the best of us. My great-grandma lived half a mile away from the border to Mexico, in a tiny town called Falcon Heights. It's known for the state park a few miles up the road, and a pretty kick-ass Dairy Queen. The town she lived in was filled with brothers, sisters, cousins, all family. It was a tight-knit community brought together by blood. My great-grandma's passing was swift and out of the blue. She passed away of a heart attack while taking a shower in the outdoor laundry room. Her family held a viewing within the home. She only had one ask: to let her wear her red ruby lipstick one more time. My mother was the one who did the honors, and she remembers that moment like it was yesterday. After great-grandma passed, my grandmother moved into her home. They didn't change any of the existing furniture or update any aspects of the home. They simply moved in. Her property included the main house, a smaller outhouse on the corner of the land that doubled as the laundry room, a tiny worn-down green shack they referred to as La Casa Verde. At this time, the town was still filled with family members, brothers, sisters, cousins of my grandma. But as the years flew by, my grandma and her husband became the only ones left, living in a ghost town 10 hours away from her children. When I was younger, nothing would excite me more than a chance to visit my grandma. I loved her more than anything in the world, and her ranch ground less than a mile away from her house was a wonderland for a growing kid. When I turned 18, I visited grandma with my mom for the summer like I always did. I stayed in the corner bedroom of the main house with my mom. We spent the week cooking, cleaning, rehashing shared experiences, and reminiscing within them. We had more than our fair share of eggs with bacon, crisp flour tortillas, and my grandma's signature beans for dinner. Unbeknownst to me, we were conjuring up something far more than just happy memories. One evening, after a long day's work, I found myself taking a short respite on the outdoor hammock, enjoying a few moments of twilight to myself. I felt a pair of eyes traced onto me from within the home where I was only mere feet away from. As I turned my head to confront the door of La Casa Verde, I found the outline of a slender hand pressed against the thin screen door. The hand pushed forward as if it were beckoning me to open the door, before quickly retreating back into the darkness. I stood up very quickly, called my grandmother's name out, and received no response. I took a few steps closer to the weathered green relic of years gone by, expecting some type of response. For the first time in my life, I slowly entered La Casa Verde, curious of what beckoned me to do so. As I entered, I found piles and piles of different relics from past lives. Records, baby clothes, pictures, paintings, toys, and games. So much energy condensed into this tiny, tiny room. But no visual suspects. The room was buzzing with energy. I spent a few moments taking in the glorified storage space and went to ask my grandma what I had seen. When I started asking questions, her face turned pale. An emotion I had never seen on her before developed. Guilt. Longing. She told me how it must have been her mother. She told me that some days she feels her. A blast of jasmine perfume wafts by, and she knows that her mother's near. She informed me that great-grandma must have found some interest in me, because she hadn't visited my grandma in a very long time. I did my best to take this advice with a grain of salt. She told me I was lucky. She wished her mother came to visit more often. She walked to her back room, showed me an image of her brother when he was younger. We shared the same nose, same jaw, facial structure. Maybe great-grandma had me confused with her son, longing to see and feel him after so long. That night, as I took a shower, I couldn't help but feel as if I was being watched. I turned to find a stark white doll watching me, sitting on the restroom window sill, glaring. Its pale complexion was accented by deep black hair, black eyes, and matching black stitching. I'm not the easiest to scare, but this was my first time coming face to face with this doll during the trip. With no children in sight, it felt out of place in this rustic Hispanic home. I grabbed the doll, tucked it away with my belongings to ask my grandma about it in the morning, and left. As I lie awake for hours, thinking about the events of the day, I began to wonder. Would this be the last time I encountered great-grandma on this trip? Thinking of what I'd do if it were to happen again. Well, maybe she just wanted to be heard. Figured I was listening and wanted me to tell her children she was still there. I found the door to her, and she wanted to close it. Or maybe keep it propped open. That morning, I returned the doll to the window sill where I had found it, unsure if it had played a part in what I had seen the night before. I arrived in the bathroom and was met with the smell of powdery jasmine. I told my great-grandma goodbye, thanked her for her visit, and I shut the door tight behind me. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep, to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance, to dream. Aye. There's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come?
I lie awake at night, and sometimes I can feel her voice and her eyes, and the smell of her perfume. I wonder would it be like if she was still here with me? Would she hold me? Would she scold me? Would she even really care? I look back on all the times that we had spent together, and I start to realize she was never really there. But if I close my eyes, I can pretend she was there and she was never gone. We were best friends till the end, and if I close my eyes, we're laughing and she's spinning me. She's all that I could ever need, but only in my head. Sometimes I wonder why, and if there was anything I could have done. Did I falter or not try hard enough back then? I think of soccer catch and playing cards, think of fond memories, but the only ones I find are of how hard she was to please. Is there a puzzle piece I'm missing? Could I have been a better child? Does the person that I love only exist because she's dead? 'Cause when I close my eyes, it's all just pretend, and she was there at every soccer game instead of just in bed. And if I close my eyes, she listens and she sees me. We're still a picture perfect family, but only in my head.
Some Furbies are gray and other white. Some Furbies are dark as night. Some have tails and others manes. Small of stature, big of heart. All Furbies are so very smart. They speak a language all their own, for Furbish is a language quite unknown. Furbies say Mime love, and Mile hugs, and Wheatie sing, and Lulu joke. They play, Furby says, and hide and seek, and into the future they can peek. So when you take a Furby home, know you'll never be alone. It's been a hard week, you know, and a hard day, the highlight of a hard year, and everything, it just keeps on mounting and mounting and mounting, and I just feel so alone. I'm alone. If I had never met you, I have no idea where I'd be now. You came at the perfect time in my life. I feel like I would have fell into some isolation and just started spiraling, but you're here. And now I have someone to talk to and to share secrets with, and it's so nice. It's so nice to have a friend. You know, I have always heard that red wine went well with steak, but I really just don't know if I believe it. I have tried a lot of different wines, but I've never found something that I really liked. So, who knows? Maybe tonight will be different. You like the sound of that? I have something special for you. Well, do you want to see it? Okay. I thought it would be fun if I bought you a couple of friends. I don't know. I always feel so lonely here, and you have helped me by making me feel a little bit less lonely, so why not help you? Everyone needs more friends. Even you. And even them. I think y'all will make fast friends. Oh, let me pull out my camera. Y'all look so adorable together. Oh, buddy. Where did your friends go? Weren't they just right here? Oh, well, I guess I must have taken them with me. I could have sworn they were right here. You know, it is so funny. We spend so much time paying attention to the TV, you know, binging our favorite shows, watching the news, so many hours of our lives. And what do we get back? You know, sure, you can give the argument that we are given information that we didn't know, that we are learning about life and culture, but we give so much of us to that box. A piece of our lives. And really, what do we get back? You know, I am going to go for a walk. It has been too long. I am exhausted. I need to get some fresh air. Just for once. Okay, I'll be right back. What? Did you say something? I think you may need a timeout. Well, just time apart from me. Just for a little bit. I don't know. Maybe a long time will be good. I'm sorry. It'll just be for a couple hours, I promise. and I were the only boy. Nothing else would matter in the world today. We could go on loving in the same old way. A garden of Eden, just made for two, with nothing to mar our joy. I would say such wonderful things to you. There would be such wonderful things to do. If you were the only girl in the world. Sometimes I turn my head too quickly, and I swear I see you out of the corner of my eye. I see a set of numbers on the clock and think, you set it up just so I would see it. Gives me a sense of peace. Gives me a feeling that tells me you're still here. Sometimes, when I lose the remote to the TV, I spend 20, 30 minutes trying to find it. I look down and it's right there. Like you're playing some kind of joke on me from wherever you are. Makes me smile. Reminds me of you. Reminds me that I can never be alone. Reminds me that life is still warm, still beautiful. You always felt like summer to me. A respite from eternal autumn. You burned so bright with everything you did. And I celebrate you every day. I lay on your side of the bed just to feel the space you once laid down your head. And it's not perfect. But when I do it, it tells me you're still here. And that is a beautiful thing. It's beautiful to stop myself from laughing every time an educationconnection.com commercial comes on the TV. Because the only thing I can think about is your voice, your sense of humor. It's how you lit up with every joke that formed in your head. How you defend my honor anytime someone came remotely close to mean to me. You were a protector. My protector. In a way, you've made an impression on me. Made me begin to act in new ways. Given me a sense of optimism, a good work ethic, love in my heart. You become a beacon to how I can be the best version of myself. And in that way, I know you're still here. You're still here. And I know that's where you'll stay. Always.
Green was the canopy of trees above our heads, and blue were your eyes when you told me what the test results said. We faked being brave, we made it a day, but the blue never faded. It remains here with us, it's on miles over town, but you'll always be mine, my green, like the leaves before they fall. Green, you'll be better, this is small. Green, hush, hush, you'll be fine. Blue water makes the green grass grow. You'll be home in due time. Your smiling face on a screen, a blue light reflection. Food sucks here, you say with a laugh that suits your perfection. It's cold, light blue in the house now that you're not here. I feel older in such little time, but I'm young when you call with all your green, like the leaves before they fall. Green, you'll be better, this is small. Green, hush, hush, you'll be fine. Blue water makes the green grass grow. You'll be home come springtime. Your last call, how could I know it'd be your last call? Blue was the only thing I could see. Your last laugh, how could I know it'd be your last laugh? Blue overtook the better of you and me. Your last breath, how could I know you took your last breath? I didn't see, don't get to see, I didn't see. I wish I saw your green, like the leaves before they fall. Green, you'll be better, this is small. Green, hush, hush, you'll be fine. Blue water makes the green grass grow. You'll come home in due time.